My dear listeners, tonight I bring you a story that began on a quiet foggy morning, on a little railway platform in the English countryside. A place so ordinary, so still, that no one expected anything beautiful to happen there. But love always arrives when no one is watching, sometimes in a whisper, sometimes in a sigh, sometimes in a heartbeat that stops without warning. Rosewood Station was nearly empty that morning. Just birds, a cold wind, and a young woman named Amelia Hart. She stood with her suitcase beside her, wrapped in a soft beige coat, her breath turning into clouds in the chilly air. She was leaving the village she grew up in, chasing a future she had been too afraid to claim. Her life had been quiet, predictable, safe, but she was ready for something more. Something real. As she waited for the train, her eyes drifted over the empty platform, until she noticed someone sitting on the old wooden bench under the station clock. A man she had never seen before. Dark hair slightly messy from the wind, a book resting in his hands, and eyes that lifted toward her as if he had already been watching her for a while. There was something about him, something that made the cold morning feel suddenly warm. He smiled softly. And Amelia looked away, too quickly, too nervously, like someone who hadn't been looked at with genuine interest in a very long time. The train was running late. She checked her watch, sighed, shuffled her feet. The stranger closed his book and walked toward her, slow and gentle, as if he didn't want to startle her. "Excuse me," he said in a warm voice, "do you know if the London train usually delays this long?" Amelia shook her head. "Not really. It's usually on time." A moment of silence passed, but not the uncomfortable kind. The kind that feels like an invitation. "I'm Nathan," he said with a shy tilt of his head. "Amelia," she replied, surprised at how softly her name came out. Nathan's gaze lingered, not boldly, but with quiet curiosity, as though he was trying to read the story behind her tired eyes. "You look like someone leaving something important behind," he said gently. She laughed under her breath, a small, sad laugh. "Maybe I am." Nathan didn't push her for more. He simply nodded, as if he already understood. The wind blew, brushing her hair across her cheek. Nathan stepped closer, not too close, just enough to reach out and gently tuck the strand behind her ear. His fingers barely touched her skin, but the warmth from that small gesture made her body shiver in a way the cold never could. "Sorry," he whispered with a small smile. "It was distracting you." But Amelia felt something else. Something she hadn't felt in years. A softness blooming inside her chest, like the first warm night of spring. They talked. About books. About cities. About the strange comfort of meeting a stranger in a place where nobody knows you. And the more they talked, the more the world around them faded away, the platform, the cold, the time. Everything vanished except the two of them. At one point, Nathan looked at her a little too long, a little too deeply. "You want to start over somewhere new," he said quietly. "But I don't think you're running away. I think you're finally running towards something." Amelia swallowed, feeling her heart tremble. "Maybe I just didn't want to be alone anymore." He took a slow breath, his voice turning softer. "You're not." For a moment, they simply looked at each other. The kind of look that feels like two souls recognizing each other in a place they never expected to meet. The train horn sounded in the distance. Her heart dropped. Nathan stepped back a little, the first hint of sadness crossing his face. "This is your train." Amelia's hands tightened around the handle of her suitcase. She didn't move. Not yet. Not with her heart beating like this. Nathan let out a soft breath. "I don't want this moment to end." She stared at him, the honest eyes, the gentle hands, the warmth he carried like a secret. And suddenly she knew, meetings like this don't happen twice. So she stepped closer. Close enough to hear his breath. Close enough to feel his heartbeat. Close enough for her fingers to graze his. "Come with me," she whispered. Nathan froze. "Are you sure?" Her voice trembled. "I've never been more sure of anything." The train pulled into the station with a loud rumble, but they didn't look at it. They only looked at each other. Nathan's hand reached for hers, their fingers curling together as if they had been waiting a lifetime for that moment. And then, without another word, without another hesitation, they stepped onto the train together, two strangers who found something rare, something wild, something beautiful on an ordinary morning at Rosewood Station. As the train pulled away, the fog settled behind them. And Amelia leaned her head gently on Nathan's shoulder, feeling a peace she had never known before. Sometimes love doesn't arrive with flowers or promises. Sometimes it arrives with a delayed train, a shy smile, and a stranger who sees you before the world does. And that, my dear listener, is how two lonely souls discovered that the right person doesn't always come at the right time. But they always come when your heart finally opens its door.